just want to state that that was a song written by my son, right here. Caleb, you want to stand up so they can see you? No, you don't. Okay.
Congratulations, Caleb.
Good morning. My name is Rachel Quinn, and my pronouns are she, her. I am your worship associate this morning. I'm delighted to welcome you here, whether you are visiting this morning or a regular member. Please check with the greeter if you have any questions. Today, we acknowledge that we are located in a place that was once the Wampanoag village of Patuxet. We strive to follow their example and be faithful stewards of the sacred land. Our service this morning is Curiosity, the art and craft of my becoming a Unitarian Universalist, led by Vaughn Keller. Because our services vary from week to week, we suggest you visit us again to experience the variety of worship we offer. We also welcome our friends visiting us today. Please feel free to reach out with any questions about the services or congregation. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever you believe, wherever you are in your journey, let us walk together this hour.
Our call to worship this morning is the responsive reading number 547 in your great hymnals. Now blows the wind with soft, relaxing warmth.
The sun beats down, the schools are out.
Children swarm in the playgrounds and the streets, and eager city folk, vacation-bound, crowd the broad highways.
The lakes and seashores lose their solitude, and all the world seems turned to carnival.
What of ourselves? There could be now deep peace, a time for soul searching.
We might turn to examine our own lives, to sort and probe our tendencies of thought,
To sift the true from the false in the things of doubt.
the beautiful from ugliness unmarked.
The sun beats down. It is time for pause.
Even the trees seem resting for a time, as if to meditate and gather strength for the more strenuous times that lie ahead.
And shall not we? Here's the unfinished clay, half molded, that still waits on us.
To think what we have been, and as we are, still yet to become.
Please rise as you are able to hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
We'll sing this one twice.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again, come.
Please be seated.
As I light the candle, I'll stand and repeat.
Whoops,
Sorry, I was going to say standing. And repeat the chalice lighting. Love is the spirit of this church,
And service is law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, to speak the truth in love, and to help one another.
Our reading this morning comes from a Buddhist nun, Pema Chodron. She writes, The fixed idea we have about ourselves is solid and separate from each other is painfully limiting. It is possible to move through the drama of our lives without believing so earnestly in the character we play. That we take ourselves so seriously, that we are so absurdly important in our own minds, is a problem for us. We feel justified in being annoyed with everything. We feel justified in denigrating ourselves or in feeling that we are more clever than other people. Self-importance hurts us, limiting us to the narrow world of our own likes and dislikes. We end up bored to death with ourselves and our world, and we end up never satisfied. We have two alternatives. Either we question our beliefs or we don't. Either we accept our fixed versions of reality or we begin to question them. In Buddha's opinion, to train in staying open and curious, to train in dissolving our assumptions and our beliefs, is the best use of our human lives.
We all laugh, we all cry, we all feel hunger, we all feel pain, we all love, we all hate, we all hope, and we all dream. We are one world, one people, and we all bleed the same. A tribe of many languages, a troop of many heartaches, fighting for the peace among the land. Hey ya, sisini moja. Hey ya, sisini moja. Hey ya, sisini moja. Hey ya, we are one. We all want, we all need, we all seek passion, we all seek joy, we all bruise, we all scar, we all fail but learn to thrive. We are one world, one people, and we all bleed the same. In the darkness of the night and in the glory of the morning, we walk along the path to find a way. Hey ya, sisini moja. Hey ya, sisini moja. Hey ya, sisini moja. Hey ya, we are one.
Thanks, Natalie. Many years ago, a fellow by the name of Stephen Covey wrote a book. Some of you may remember it, The 7 Habits of Effective People. Some of you may have read it. Okay? He went on to write several books based on his basic concepts, made a lot of money, a lot of merchandise also came from that work. One of his 7 habits, though, was very simple. Seek to understand before you're understood. Basically, shut up and listen. Was this the basic message, an important message. But in order to do that, in order to be curious, we need questions. And one of the questions that I love actually came from Ralph Waldo Emerson. It is said that when he would meet a friend who he had not met for a while, he would raise the question, "What's become clear to you since we last met?" Wow. Can you imagine meeting a friend and saying, "What's become clear to you since we last met?" Ralph was obviously curious, though. He wanted to know what was going on in his friends' lives. And so that's the question. Now, I can imagine myself at times saying to that question, "Not a damn thing." I hope he would then respond to that by asking, "Well, then, what are you struggling with?" Again, a good question. Try it on. I'm not going to ask you to reveal yourself this morning, but try on the two questions for yourself, just now, sitting by yourself. Imagine that you ran into Ralph a month ago, and you just saw him again this morning as you were coming into the chapel, and he asked you, "What's become clear to you over the last month?" Or, "What are you struggling with today?" Just take a minute and ask yourself that question. What did you come up with? Now, note Ralph's assumption in the question. The assumption is that we are vitally alive and engaged with our world. And Emerson cared. He wanted to know his friends. He wanted to know, how are you making out? Ralph Waldo Emerson, as we know from all of his writings, was a really curious guy. Now, if you listen to Covey or Emerson, it's good interpersonal relations to be curious. A story about curiosity. What happens when I'm curious about somebody, but they're not curious about me? When it's not reciprocated. Now, some of you have heard me talk about the Codger Conclave. It's just a group of old guys like myself who meet at lunch on Zoom every other week, and we've been doing it since COVID. One of our members, Joel Gibson, is an Episcopal priest, a lovely guy, one of the warmest people I know. Now, we don't use Emerson's questions when we get together, but the expectation is that we are going to share our ahas with one another. So we were not surprised a couple of weeks ago when we were doing sort of a check-in and Joel said, "Santa Claus doesn't exist." What? You can imagine all of our reactions to that. Joel went on to explain. He and his wife Nora were flying back, I think it was from Phoenix to New York, and he found himself sitting next to a guy who really wanted to talk. You know, I'm sure you've been on flights where that's happened to you. Well, so Joel's a very engaging guy, so they started talking, and before long it was clear that this man, we'll call him Steve, that Steve was a member of the tribe of Trump. Now, Joel has proclaimed in our Codger meetings that he believes that we are not going to get any place politically until we truly engage the other and get curious about how they are thinking and feeling. So Joel, in his best ministerial self, decided he was going to be curious about what Steve thought and felt and how he had arrived at the conclusions that he get. So for 4 hours, Joel remained inquisitive. Now, Steve learned fairly soon on that Joel was not of the tribe of Trump, but the reciprocity wasn't there. Steve could not care how Joel thought or felt. Now, Joel had honestly believed that the Santa Claus of curiosity was going to get us through. So that's the reason he said, when we opened our meeting, there is no Santa Claus. Curiosity doesn't always work, but often it does. But where is it? Where is curiosity in our Unitarian Universalist value system? Where does it reside? Well, as you know, over the last several years, actually, a commission was established to clarify what it is that we value. And finally it got voted on and it got passed, and we now have a graphic with these 6 values coming out with love at the center. You're all familiar with it. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in it. Pluralism. We are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all feel welcome and can thrive. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. Equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. You've all heard them before. Now, when it was presented, some good UU folks were incensed with the change. We don't need this nonsense. What's wrong with our 7 principles? And they were very upset. Others, of course, were curious. Why did we make this change? And others just adapted to it. They just embraced it. So across the whole spectrum of response. Personally, I liked the change, especially putting love at the center. However, I have a quibble. Now, no one asked me for my thoughts about this, by the way. I would have wanted curiosity to be there as one of the core values. I don't know if it was even discussed, but with love at the center, I thought, aha, well now, maybe I can work my head around this in a different way. Now let me explain. Is curiosity necessary for love? I think it is. I think it's absolutely central. Way back in 1956, a social psychologist and humanistic philosopher by the name of Erich Fromm wrote the book, The Art of Loving. Some of you may be familiar with it. In that book, Fromm talks about what the requirements are for a loving relationship, and one of them is respect. And Fromm goes to the root of the word, the Latin, specto, to see. To see. Do I see you? Not an abstraction of you, not as an object to satisfy my needs, but you as a separate existence. Do I really see you? In order to love you, I have to see you. I have to be profoundly curious about who you are. I have to come to know you. And that was what Joel was trying to do with Steve. He was trying to get to know him. We talk about beloved community. But if we are serious about that, it means we have to be curious about other people. In our congregations and in the larger world, we use those words, beloved community, frequently. Or we may, as the Unitarian Universalist theologian Tandeka encourages us, we must practice love beyond belief. Love beyond belief. Very important words. Now, back to Fromm. I doubt it's seriously possible to know someone else without being curious about who they are, how they think, how they feel, how they act in the world. Recently, I had a conversation with a good UU, and the man said, I know we are open to having different beliefs, but I have no idea what the other people in my congregation believe. I don't have a clue, other than social action. But other than that, what do they believe? There was no forum, no place for him to act on his curiosity in an ongoing way. How do we create beloved community without knowing one another? In our congregations as well as in the world. Sometimes what we learn might be quite disturbing. You believe that? Yeah, I do. Oh, my. Now, are you going to tolerate that? Are you going to accept it? Are you going to embrace the fact that I think differently than you do? And are going to be curious about why I believe that? It may be disturbing to you. Again, to Pema Chodron. She writes, there's a common misunderstanding amongst all the human beings who have ever been born on this earth that the best way to live is to try to avoid pain and just try to get comfortable. You can see this even in insects and animals and birds. All of us are the same. A much more interesting, kind, adventuresome, and joyful approach to life is to begin to develop our curiosity, not caring whether the object of our inquisitiveness is bitter or sweet. To lead a life that goes beyond pettiness and prejudice, and always wanting to make sure that everything turns out on our terms. Now, to lead a more passionate, full, and delightful life than that, we must realize that we can endure a lot of pain and pleasure for the sake of finding out who we are, what the world is, how the world ticks, and how the whole thing just is. How the whole thing just is. What makes a religion different from a social club is precisely that, a concern for how the whole thing just is. And beyond that, there is our power to create, our power to wonder, our power to ask, what if? And we need those 6 values centered around love. These values can be our North Star to make sure we don't get lost as we go exploring, as we are curious about ourselves, as we get to know one another, and as we get to know the world we live in. And so back to Ralph. It's a good question. What has become clear to you since we last met? Or what are you struggling with these days? Well, please stand as you are willing and able for hymn number 318, We Would Be One.
We will now gratefully receive your generous financial support for the good work of this church.
Please be seated. Our closing words come from none other than Albert Einstein. The important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existence. One cannot help but be in awe when one contemplates the mysteries of eternity, of life, of the marvelous structure of reality. It is enough if one tries merely to comprehend a little of this mystery each day.
All right, we're going to end on a song that I think you know. I didn't send in the lyrics ahead of time. It's Over the Rainbow. I think you know it. If you want to sing along, please feel free. Where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where